Picking up from where the listing religion video left off. What did the video state the 7 stages of curriculum development are? Step 1, diagnosing needs. Step 2, formulating specific objectives. Step 3, selecting the content. Step 4, organizing the content. Step 5, selecting and organizing learning experiences. Step 6, evaluating. Step 7, checking for balance and sequence. The 7 stages of curriculum development are typically 1. Diagnosing needs, 2. Formulating objectives, 3. Selecting content, 4. Organizing content, 5. Selecting learning experiences, 6. Organizing learning activities, and 7. Evaluating outcomes. This process, often referred to as the TABA model, emphasizes identifying student needs and designing a curriculum to meet them through specific content and activities. 1. Diagnosing needs. Identify the needs of the learners and the gaps in the existing curriculum. This step involves a needs assessment to understand what students need to learn. 2. Formulating objectives. Set clear, specific, and measurable learning objectives to address the identified needs. These objectives should guide the rest of the curriculum development process. 3. Selecting content. Choose the content that is relevant to the learning objectives and appropriate for the students. Determine what knowledge, skills, and attitudes students should acquire. 4. Organizing content. Arrange the selected content in a logical and coherent sequence. This involves structuring the content in a way that builds on prior knowledge and moves from simpler to more complex topics. 5. Selecting learning experiences. Choose specific learning experiences that will engage students with the content. This includes activities like lectures, discussions, projects, and experiments. 6. Organizing learning activities. Structure and arrange the learning experiences and activities to create a cohesive and effective learning environment. Consider the characteristics of the students and how they learn best when organizing these activities. 7. Evaluating outcomes. Assess whether the curriculum has achieved the intended objectives. This involves evaluating the effectiveness of the content and activities and making necessary adjustments for future revisions. The TABA model is an inductive, step-by-step approach to curriculum development that starts with teacher input to diagnose student needs and create a curriculum from the grassroots up. It emphasizes the development of higher-order thinking skills in students through processes like listing, grouping, and labeling ideas. The model is more flexible and democratic than others, allowing teachers to refine the curriculum and giving them a more central role in its creation. Key principles and steps. Inductive approach. The model is teacher-driven and inductive, meaning it starts with specific teacher and student input to build a broader curriculum framework, as opposed to a deductive model that starts with a preset framework. Focus on thinking skills. It is designed to enhance students' thinking skills, particularly through open-ended questioning and activities that encourage higher-order thinking. Teacher-centered process. Teachers are active participants in developing the curriculum, which is seen as a continuous process of improvement and refinement. Grassroots approach. The model's focus on teacher input contrasts with models that are developed top-down by administrators. The 5 steps of the TABA model. Content focus. Teachers identify the content to be taught. Objectives. Teachers determine the specific learning objectives for the content. Learning experiences. Teachers design learning experiences to help students achieve the objectives. Content organization. Teachers organize the content and learning experiences into a cohesive curriculum. Evaluation. Teachers create assessments to evaluate student learning and the effectiveness of the curriculum. Example of the TABA model in action. An example of the TABA model would be an English teacher giving students an article and asking them to find all the examples of change they can identify. The teacher then collects these ideas, presents them to the class, and has students work together to group and label them, creating a deeper understanding of the concept of change through discussion and analysis. Teaching, pedagogy. Pedagogy is the art of teaching. Pedagogy, the art, science, or profession of teaching. Especially, education sense to the field of study that deals mainly with methods of teaching and learning in schools. I am teaching about teaching so that my students may make courses or classes of their own. Let's begin with the heart and soul of teaching, which is question, answer. Which is the question and also the answer. Question, answer is a form of problem, solution. Which is a form of problem solving and therefore has similarities to the scientific method which are contained in the acronym PHOEC, which stand for problem, hypothesis, experiment, observation, and conclusion. In both teaching and in the scientific method there is the concept of question, which is the problem to be solved, and its solution, which is the answer to the question. A question is an utterance which serves as a request for information. Teaching and its related concept curriculum development have two parts, which are implementation and pre-implementation. Pre-implementation would be the question and the implementation would be the answer to the question. Curriculum development is about teaching how to identify needs, create goals, select content, critically evaluate and organize content, as well as teaching methods or strategies the teachers are teaching is called curriculum development. Has two parts, which are implementation and pre-implementation. Implementation, which means teaching, which is a form of answering, but implementation can also mean inserting into curriculum, but implementation could also mean preparing to teach, which is about teaching the teacher before they teach the students. Implementation is the act or practice of teaching. Pre-implementation, which means to prepare to teach. Pre-implementation is the preparatory process that prepares the teacher to teach. Once implementation has been completed, a pedagogical cycle has been completed, and a follow-up can be seen as another iteration of a pedagogical cycle. A pedagogical cycle is a problem, solution cycle, which is a question, answer cycle. Pre-implementation. Implementation. Post-implementation. 1. Needs assessment. 2. Goal setting and objectives. 3. Content selection. 4. Instructional strategies. 5. Implementation. 6. Evaluation. 7. Revise and improve. What are the 7 stages of curriculum development? 1. Needs assessment. 2. Goal setting and objectives. 3. Content selection. 4. Instructional strategies. 5. Implementation. 6. Evaluation. 7. Revise and improve. What are the 7 stages of curriculum development? 1. Needs assessment. 2. Goal setting and objectives. 3. Content selection. 4. Instructional strategies. 5. Implementation. 6. Evaluation. 7. Revise and improve. The 7 stages of curriculum development are in 3 categories, which are pre-implementation, implementation, post-implementation. Pre-implementation. 1. Needs assessment. 2. Goal setting and objectives. 3. Content selection. 4. Instructional strategies. And then implementation. 5. Implementation. And then post-implementation, which is a second restart of the process of pre-implementation and implementation. 6. Evaluation. 7. Revise and improve. What is the curriculum? A curriculum is defined as the structured and planned process to reach the goal. The curriculum provides a roadmap so that the learners can navigate in a better manner to their destination. The curriculum guides instructions and hands-on activities required for learners according to their needs. For better learning and teaching, organized content and activity are very important. What is curriculum development? Curriculum development is the process of creating an image, which is a vision, and turning that image into reality. The plan of learning from the starting point to the ending point guides the student about every step of learning. Curriculum development is a thoughtful process as it requires experience and creativity to enhance learning in a meaningful way. What to learn, and how to learn, will depend on the environment and participants at the time, and will be logically connected to goals that pre-exist or will be formulated at the time based on needs. 7 steps of the curriculum development. 1. Needs assessment. It is very important to understand your intended audience to design the curriculum. The initial step should be identifying the problems where the learner is lacking. The gap should be identified for a better plan. Inclusive education should be prioritized, which gives equal opportunity to all students without any differentiation, but all students are not the same. Some are creative, gifted, and slow. It should make sure that the curriculum is balanced according to all the students. 2. Goal setting and objectives. The objective of the curriculum should be clear and specified according to the needs of the learner. The curriculum should be SMART. S. Specific. M. Measurable. A. Achievable. R. Relevant. T. Time-bound. S. Specific. M. Measurable. A. Achievable. R. Relevant. T. Time-bound. As it can easily be understood by the above words, the curriculum should be specific according to needs and goals. The curriculum should be completed in a certain period that should not be too lengthy. The content should be relevant, and the learner must be careful that they can instantly connect it with their real life. 3. Content selection. Content selection is the main important step in the curriculum activity, as the learning and understanding depend on the content provided to the students. During content selection, make sure that the activities, instructional strategies, and assessments are aligned logically. The curriculum should be adaptive and flexible for teachers as well as learners. For a particular subject, the curriculum should be developed under the subject expertise. There should be proper research on the learner's language barriers and backgrounds to keep the content specific and relevant. 4. Instructional strategies. The teacher should make sure that the instructional strategy is engaging and allows open-ended questions to the students. As many examples of practical, real-world activities as feasible should be incorporated into instructional strategies. Between the learner and the curriculum, a teacher acts as a mediator. The ability to adapt to new skills requires both a well-thought-out instructional plan and an effective method. With regard to pacing within the possible courses that we may teach, we believe that no subject or topic needs to be difficult or impossible to learn, but that a learning curve may be unavoidable for one reason or another, and that the learning curve may make successful completion of the course not feasible. 5. Implementation. The crucial step in the development of curriculum. Now, we have come to the step where we need to start putting our plans and strategies into action. Classroom approach. This process involves interaction, lectures, and activities. The process of implementation depends on the teacher and how effectively they are introducing the concept. The basic requirements to implement the curriculum are teacher, students, learning environment, and resources used to facilitate learning. Effective curriculum should be implemented in phases, as it requires introductions, interactive processes, engaging processes, assessment, and exploration to strengthen learning. 6. Evaluation. It is very important to evaluate to understand whether the curriculum is effective or not. It gives important feedback to teachers and learners. Evaluation helps in observing the improvement and growth of the person. Evaluation is also a systematic process that gathers information about the effectiveness and impact of the curriculum on students and in class. This helps in giving feedback to the experts for the modifications required in the curriculum. 7. Revise and improve. After the evaluation of the students, the reports and the improvement of the students will give the outline of the curriculum. The required changes in the curriculum are now easily implemented according to their needs. The curriculum should be revised based on their feedback and evaluation report. The assessment required improvement, and changes can be made based on the evaluation and can be added to the curriculum.